Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Carl, and I wanted to tell you about a little problem I was having with eczema and how it was diagnosed, how it was previously misdiagnosed, and what I did to get better, which all of you want as well. Eczema comes in many forms, and I'm just going to talk about what I did. This isn't, just a covers everybody kind of thing, but this is what I did. It worked for me. And I've been on a lot of forums when I was trying to figure this out, and there were people who had the attitude of, oh, that doesn't work. Nothing works for eczema. No creams work. And, well, they worked for me. So, might not work for everybody, but I made this video in hopes of helping some people. So, back in October of 2013, I got like these little bubbles, a little bit of grayish looking. Actually, a lot of people call it, they say it looks like tapioca pudding, just these little bubbles, which is pretty accurate. I had no idea what it was. I just kind of let it go for a couple months. Then it kind of got worse, and I was really curious. I kind of lived with it for a couple months. It wasn't a huge deal, but it looked to be spreading. I had it start out maybe around here on my finger, and it was kind of spreading up, and I was getting a little bit concerned. And in December of 2013, here on my wrist, I swear I was like playing with the family dog when I was back east visiting my parents for Christmas, and I got a scratch, and that kind of bubbled up, and it almost looked like a bunch of little cold sores. And it was weird to me, but then again, I shrugged it off. I was using apple cider vinegar to kind of treat it, which kind of worked, but it never made it go away. And sometimes on my finger, it wouldn't be bubbling up, but it would look like underneath, like some redness and irritation. I had no idea what it was. And so I decided to figure this out. I scheduled an appointment with a primary doctor. I'm a pretty healthy guy, and I moved to Los Angeles a couple years ago, and I didn't have a doctor. So they weren't able to see me for roughly like 10 days. And it was getting worse on my finger, so I went to like a prompt care place, where they have doctors and, they see you for, $20 copay, and it's pretty, quick, just for like minor things. And the woman doctor saw me, and she looked at it, and I could tell she had no idea what it was. And she brought in another doctor, and they totally misdiagnosed me. They told me I had herpetic whitlow, which is basically herpes of the finger, which sounds funny, but it's pretty serious when you actually have it, I guess, because it can spread to your eyes. So I was so worried about that. They put me on Valtrex, which is an antiviral prescription, which was awful, and it's just not something you should take unless you really have to, I guess, because it sucked for me. Terrible side effects. And in the long run, I really didn't have to take it because I didn't have herpetic whitlow, because I had no idea what this was, and had to see an eye doctor because the Valtrex made my eyes go all weird. So I finally saw a really good dermatologist in Beverly Hills, and right away he looked at it, and he's like, this is eczema. Actually, it's just, let me get the spelling right here. It's spelled Dishidrotic, Dyshidrotic Eczema. So you can Google that if it sounds like you have what looks like tapioca pudding. Little bubbles, a lot of times they're on your fingers. People can get them on their feet, palms of their hands, from what I've read. So I was really relieved, and he gave me a very strong steroid cream. And I went home, used that, in like 3 or 4 days, totally made my finger look good. However, I came back about 2 weeks later, and I read about these steroidal creams. They can thin your skin. It's just not good to take. They're very strong. If you get them in your eye, if you get the cream in your eyes, you can get terrible eye problems based on what I read on the label. So I went back, and I was wondering, do I have like a nickel allergy? Because some of the people I read about had nickel allergies, which caused similar symptoms. And I saw the doctor's assistant this time, this really cute chick, and she told me, I don't think it's a nickel allergy, but we can refer you to our allergist. But she just said, keep putting stuff on it. And so what I had been putting on it, which really to that point hadn't been working. It took me about roughly 10, 11 days to see improvement, but I kept moisturizing it because I wasn't sure. I just felt like I have to do something. Two things I used. The one thing I used, which I don't think worked as well, but I'll mention it anyway, is Gold Bond Ultimate 2% Colloidal Oatmeal Eczema Cream. I use this stuff. It has a lot of moisturizers and vitamins, but I only used it a bit. The thing that I used, and I'm sure you're curious, and this I put it on all the time after I washed my hands, which I'll get into in a moment, is basically aloe vera gel. And basically, I won't advertise on here what brand it is, but if you really want to know, you can. I'll have a link that goes to my website, Academy.com. I'll have an article about this whole ordeal, and you can check out what I used and the brand and all that stuff. But aloe vera gel, you can buy it wherever, but if you want to use the same brand as me, just click the link. And the aloe vera gel that I used, literally 10, 11 days of just using it, and it was weird, maybe around day 5 or something like that. I was at the gym and I was like sweating, I was working out, and I like looked at my finger and I was like, I swear it looks a little bit better right now. It was when I worked out and I was sweating, it was as if like the bubbles, you just, almost like they shrunk. You couldn't see them as much, which sounds ridiculous, but I mean, I noticed it for a fact. Okay, somebody with a motorcycle. Awesome. So, that worked really well. And there were a number of other things I completely switched up. And I basically stopped using antibacterial soaps, and I went to using the old school ivory soap. I even brought it to the gym and would use it as a hand soap. Old school ivory soap. No more antibacterial soaps. Antibacterial gels as well, that people use, doctors use, so many of us use, they just, instead of using soap. Totally got rid of those as well. And it was interesting, the assistant to my dermatologist told me that people that get this basically dyshidrotic eczema, pardon me, the most often it is chefs, people that wash their hands a lot because they're cooking food. Also, mothers who have newborns because, like, once again, they're changing diapers, they're making food, they're always washing their hands. He said those were the 2 top kind of classification types of people that were having this kind of eczema. A couple other things I did. I totally switched out my what I use for hand washing body wash. There are 2 ingredients that you should stay away from: sodium laurate sulfate and sodium laureth sulfate. These are usually like the 2nd or 3rd ingredients in hand soaps and body washes. And what they do, they're basically agents that create suds and soap bubbles, all that good stuff. So when you wash, it strips away grease and oil. And they actually use these ingredients in floor stripping products, which kind of, that says it all, And they actually use these ingredients as a control when they do tests for things like eczema, which is really ironic. And I'll say that again so you completely understand kind of the ridiculousness of having these products with these ingredients in these products. Okay, they take sodium laureth and sodium laurate sulfate, and they use it as a control when they do tests for skin irritation. And yet they put it in body washes. Like, I use my Axe body wash and it had it as the 2nd ingredient. No longer use that. I bought a few different body washes and I've used those, and I like all those, and they don't contain that. And I'll put those in as a link to the article. So, Academy.com, you'll see the link down below. Click on that. It'll take you directly to the article. And there's like 3 or 4 body washes I use. I would say 2 of them are more geared toward guys, more manly sense, but there's one that is for everybody. It's actually for like the whole family. One flavor that I have is citrus, one is mint, so that works well. And you can also use them to wash your hands at the sink too. Another thing I should mention that I no longer do, at certain places they don't have paper towels. They'll have, the air dry, the hot air, and that's how it is at my gym. You wash your hands, dry in it, and of course, when you have something like eczema, that's no good. So what I'll do is I'll just let it air dry, or I'll use a towel. It's really interesting. That's about all I wanted to explain, but I'll mention a couple other things. it's just amazing that it took 11 days for my skin to hydrate. People think, dry skin, you put on lotion, you're good. But the way it works with eczema is I must have been just abusing my hands with these harsh chemicals, and basically it's almost like a bucket with a hole in it. My finger could not retain the moisture from the lotions because, it lost all of that. It was all taken out, all the nutrients and, oils that my body had made from just these harsh chemicals and these things hand washing just over time. Literally, my hand did not heal from October of 2013 to May of 2014 until I just stopped doing these, using these harsh chemicals and, using, the hand dryer and just being very careful and 100% just using this awesome aloe vera. And I would apply it probably like a dozen times a day. There were some times I had it next to my bed. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and literally rub it on. And like I said, it took me like over 10 days. It's not a quick fix. And now I can take a picture. I have pictures of what it looked like when it wasn't so pretty. And I'll take a picture now. And it's been a couple weeks and it's looking pretty good. And, I think it's going to hold up. So I wanted to post this video because I'm sure there's some people who, are like me. And if they do what I did, they'll heal. And I wish everybody could heal, but different kinds of eczema, But for this kind, it's just from not doing the right things and abusing your skin. And in closing, I'll mention what the assistant to the dermatologist said. She said eczema is kind of like a wildfire, and it can spread. And you kind of have to keep it in check by moisturizing. I live in LA. It's kind of a desert climate. Not a lot of humidity. If you live somewhere like Miami, where you have a lot of humidity, your odds of having eczema are much less, But skin here, you get dry skin, and you just have to, put on lotion, and it can be tough, especially for a guy. We don't really like to use lotions and stuff, but from time to time you have to, especially on your hands, you have to do it rather often. And I hope you find this to be helpful. Check out the link below, Academy.com. It'll have like a slash and something like how I dealt with eczema or something link. Click on that. You can check out the products that I used. Comment below. Hope you like my video, and if so, please click the like button. I hope to help as many people as possible because this kind of sucked. It was an ordeal, and if I can help, kind of give closure and a quick recovery to some people, then that would make me feel really good. So if you have any questions, please ask away, and I hope you all have a great day and have wonderful health and get rid of your eczema. Goodbye.
Great!